Tom kali ini. Oh, ini dia 3 lawan 3 Profesor Tom Haye.
Welcome back at the Haye Way. We're on a very special occasion this week. You can see it. We're not in our studio in Amsterdam. We did it away day before in Jakarta after the game against Bahrain. And this time we're in Miami. Yesterday he was playing against Inter Miami. And today he's sitting next to me. Maarten Paes.
Yes.
Normally I give everyone an applause, so I will do it here. On my own. Normally Tom is here. Tom had to play this weekend. So unfortunately, he didn't travel with me. He's very jealous at the moment. But
it would have been nice. But first of all, thank you for having me. Thanks for coming to the game yesterday. You brought luck.
Yeah.
Big win. So thanks for that. And let's have a good episode.
You're the number one of Indonesia, the number one of FC Dallas, but I think also the number one of requested guest on our show.
I didn't know about that, but I would love to tell my story. And of course, it would have been nice if Tom was also here, but he had a game. So let's do it together.
And then what Tom always remembers the people. So a lot of people watch our episodes, but please subscribe. It's free, and you help growing the channel. And also a new thing, I get a lot of messages that people are watching it on a Saturday, on a Sunday. Some people are working, some people are studying, some people are having a coffee in the morning when they're watching. Put it on Instagram, tag us. We are very curious, where you guys are watching it, and let us know. So don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. It's totally free, and you will never miss any episodes like this one with Maarten. We did a podcast last week before we go in all the serious stuff. We did a podcast last week with Joey Pelopessi. What a great guy. The bodyguard of Tom, that's his new nickname. But the thing is, he has a great voice. He has a great voice. And I know that you also like a little bit to do a little bit of singing.
Yeah, I think I like to sing. I like to learn new songs in Bahasa or in Indonesia, and I'm not afraid to show it too. I think when I came to Indonesia and I played my first match, I had to sing after the Saudi game, and then I sung.
Where were you singing?
So we went to a Korean steakhouse with the team, and then I sung. What is the song again? Stand by Me. Stand by Me, and then...
Is that your favorite song?
Normally to perform, that's my favorite song because it's so easy. And then the next day, it was all over the internet.
Can you do a little bit here? Or is it difficult?
Nah. Right now, it's not the time. But they can find it on the internet because the whole media team was recording it. So, but I don't know.
Stand By Me is your song?
Yeah, it's my song. And then after the game against Australia, I put it like... on Instagram where you can put like a song to it. So I just put it with my post, and it was super fun. So it's super. Yeah, that's my song normally to go.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter which song I like to sing it.
No, it's a big difference because Joey was singing Frans Bauer. It's a big difference than Stand By Me. But it's also good for you to have a roommate at timnas who's always up for a song or for singing or dancing, Sandy Walsh.
Yeah, I think Sandy, first when I came to timnas, he was in Saudi and we got paired up in a room, and then he learned me a lot of stuff about...
How does a first conversation go with a new roommate?
We already had a lot of chat like on social media, and then we came together. Like he's already there 2 days before me because I have such a long travel.
Yeah,
and then... he helped me with getting to know my teammates and everything. So he was super, super helpful. And I was learning the language already back then. And then, I don't know, one of my nicknames, they call me Mr. Luku Luku because I said...
Explain this.
So I said to Sandy, hey, Sandy, kamu luku. And then he said like, what do you mean? Because the pronunciation is lucu. Mm-hmm. And then, Sandy said it to everyone. And then
Luku Luku.
Yeah, and then now everyone calls you Luku Luku. So that was fun. But he learned me how to pronounce some words. He has all these challenges for new people. Like one is the Jungkook challenge. I don't know if you've ever seen it. So it's a little bit dirty, but when people go to the toilet in Indonesia, they do this squat and they can already sit like to the ground. So there's like a challenge of how deep can you squat. And we did that in Jakarta.
He does that with all the new players.
Yeah, with all the new players. Yeah, I haven't seen like a couple other guys doing it, but yeah, I'm always open to this stuff. So it was super fun. And then every time we come together, we learn a couple new songs, or even like just being around there. Like in November, I was there almost for a month because my season was already over, and I could like experience it in a different way, because normally you only stay in the hotel, and it's very football focused. But then I learned about the Bakso, the song with the Bakso, because I went together with some guys, and they learned me it when we were eating Bakso. And that was super fun. And then I put that in on the video, and then the next day
it exploded
again. So it's always funny, and also a show of showing me of like willing to learn some extra stuff.
Yeah, because sometimes we have guests on the podcast and they're telling their story for the first time. You did already a lot of podcasts.
Yes.
On different platforms. So everyone knows that you started playing for timnas after talks with your grandmother.
Yes.
Who sadly passed away a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But I think it's really cool, and I should have had done this at the beginning of the show, because we've known each other for 8 years. I think you said we did our first podcast in 2018.
2018, yes.
2018, so we go way back. But I think it's a cool thing to see that once you are hooked on a subject or something in life, you cannot stop reading about it, listening about it. Yeah. And I think that's something also for you about Indonesia, not only playing for timnas, but also about the country. Because we were sitting here behind the scenes, you were telling me all kinds of stuff about Indonesia.
Yeah, for sure. I think like one of the first things I really wanted to learn and do my best on is the anthem, to sing it as loud as possible. Yeah. I think if you see the anthem going on, all the guys are singing super hard, and I always try to...
I said before, I was in the stadium and I knew like the Italian national team, they're always screaming the national, but you guys are close.
Yeah, but it's also the energy that the whole stadium brings. We try to match that and really, do that as a vice versa, like energy. And then, it was just from then on, I was like, I want to learn the language as soon as possible. So I'm taking lessons in that. Learning the songs, and just in general, like even when I came to the States here, I always like to like integrate in the culture, integrate in everything, and then it also, me as a person, makes me like a complete person. Like take everything from each culture, what fits into the way how I think, my values, etc. And it's been amazing.
I think this is my third time seeing you play here in the States, and every time I get here, it feels that I'm seeing that you are getting more American than even, we have two guys behind the cameras here. You're more American than probably these guys.
Yeah, for example, all the sports, I love to follow the sports here. I'm an NFL expert almost. Now with the draft,
we did last year. If people can, I think, can watch it back on your Twitch channel.
On my Twitch channel, we did an NFL draft, a live stream.
Yeah,
and I used to live next to the Maverick Stadium and the Stars Stadium. We went to a Stars game together. That's just something that's really special here, and I think what the whole world also can learn a little bit from America is the way how they show sports, the way how they market sports. I love the business behind sports too. So,
but also the respect for players.
Yeah, the respect for players. Luckily, we as soccer players here, we are able to be in this moment of time where it's growing a lot exponentially, and of course the World Cup is going to be here next year. So, and the Club World Cup is here this summer. So we're in that trajectory of spike where everything is going to explode the next couple of years. So that's
and I wanted to surprise you to go to a game of the Mavericks together, but unfortunately they didn't get into the playoffs.
It was not.
You're
like,
always welcome to come to Boston. We play in the playoffs every year.
Yeah.
So if you ever want to go to a game in the Garden, I will take you.
It was not our year. Let's say that.
Hey, talking about exploding, that soccer is exploding. You played against Inter Miami yesterday. So I saw Messi play once in my life. Like, to be honest, if you live in Europe, you have to, and you have a bucket list of sports. You should see Messi play in your life. And I did in Barcelona, I saw him play. So then I decided to go and visit you and watch you play. So I entered the stadium. I was with your girlfriend, Luna. And then I looked. No Messi. And then I looked online. He was not even in the squad. And the funny thing is that your roommate, Sandy Walsh, was playing, I think not at the same time, against, we can say the other GOAT, Cristiano Ronaldo. So first, who's the GOAT for you, Messi or Ronaldo?
I think, well, GOAT, define GOAT, right?
The GOAT of the last 15 years.
For me, the best player is Messi, but he's naturally gifted. But the one who worked the hardest is probably Ronaldo. So I can admire the both of them. Very politically right answer.
Are you afraid that if you play against Messi next time, he remembers that you chose CR7?
Maybe. But I think because I love the sport and it's just natural, I would say Messi. But I admire Ronaldo also a lot for his like work ethic.
Gun to your head, you would choose Messi.
Yes.
All right. So Sandy played against Ronaldo. He scored. And then yesterday you played not against Messi, not against Suarez. Is that for you as someone who loves the game, is that a disappointment that you're not playing against those great players?
I think, of course, you want to always measure yourself with
the best, right?
The best who are out there. But to be honest, I also really wanted 3 points. So I'm like, I already played Messi twice now. And I was like, whoever comes, doesn't matter to me. We want to win. And luckily we got 3 points. So that was the most important for me. It was also a very hot game.
Yeah, for the people who didn't see the game, you were 3-1 behind and it was insane. I think even more humid than in Jakarta.
Yes.
It was crazy. 3-1 behind. You guys won 4-3.
Yes.
And then I think it was also lucky that Messi wasn't playing because I think it was 6 minutes in the extra time, in stoppage time, they got a free kick just outside of the box. And imagine Messi standing behind the ball.
Yeah, well, I had a little bit of revenge feelings if he was on the ball because 2 or 3 years ago, he bended one over the wall against me last minute, and then we went on to PKs. So actually, I wouldn't have minded because now I would have saved it probably. And then, but this one, Allende took it. Also a really good player today, Allende.
Yeah.
And I think
it was really close.
Yeah, but I think if it was on goal, I had it covered.
You should tell the people. How many times did you show me the footage and say, hey, Neil, if the ball was on goal, I would definitely have it.
I showed it to you. And but yeah, it was important because I could take away some time after. And once I kicked it long, the game was over. So that was, a huge boost for us. We're still unbeaten on the road.
Yeah. I think it was like you told me over a year that Inter Miami hadn't defeated.
Yeah, at home.
Yeah.
So since May 24, they didn't lose at home.
Nearly a year, yeah.
And they had, for example, last year was Copa America and they missed Messi also for a couple of months. So, and they still didn't lose at home. So I think doesn't take away any of our performance.
No.
And especially a comeback again, which was not the first time this season. So it says a lot about the resilience of our team. And we're very proud of our team from yesterday. And we keep going.
Talking about people who scored a free kick against you, my co-host.
Yeah, indeed. I think it was in COVID because the stadium was empty. That's what I remembered. It was a cup game, I believe. It was a tough game for us. But
is that one time he scored against you?
I think it was twice in one game. But let's not talk about that. I was still a very young goalkeeper, and now I wouldn't have considered.
Do you know a lot of people know that you just only started when you were 16, eh?
Yes. Until 15, I was a striker.
What kind of striker were you?
A very lazy
striker. Waiting for the balls?
Waiting for the balls. Like until 13, when there was no offside, that was an unbelievable striker, I would say. But then when offside came... But now I think it was just... like I didn't have the passion that I had for goalkeeping. Probably if I had the passion, because now I almost have one of the best conditions of the whole team. But at that time, I didn't have any passion for being a striker. So it was not my purpose. But then when I switched to goalkeeping, I was a futsal goalkeeper for a couple of years, and then I switched to outfield goalkeeping, and then found my passion, and I trained like 4 or 5 times a day. And then created my own style, a little bit orthodox, and then got fine-tuned by all the goalkeeper trainers that I got after, and now,
But I think this is a big lesson for people watching in Indonesia, because it doesn't matter how old you are or what you have done in the past. Like, I think you're a good example of that. Like, if you started at 16, you became a pro at 18 in 2 years' time. And of course, it has to do, like, of course, you had a little bit of talent, but I think you're an example. And that's why you also had some nice words for Cristiano Ronaldo. But it's more about the determination, the mindset. What do you want to do, right?
I believe so. I think hard work beats talent every day. So it's just for me about showing up every day. Like, some games doesn't go your way, some games you're the hero. Like, something that I learned this year is not to go too high, not to go too low, but stay on your own path and keep working hard, and do everything in your own power to reach your maximum potential.
So why did you learn this specific this year?
I think because last year, for example, personally, it was a very good year. I became MLS All-Star. I had a really good season. Our team didn't have a really good season, so I had a really lot to do. But I notice sometimes when things are going very good, that's also a challenge to stay focused and to stay like as consistent as possible. And like, as a goalkeeper, consistency is one of the key things. Like, you can have a very good game. I don't know if you remember, I had a very good game against Ajax one time. Then the next game that I had was like not so good game against AZ. And then it's just, then you learn as a young goalkeeper. And that's why I believe goalkeeping is like experience job. Like, you don't get like too low if you make a mistake, but you also don't get too high if you have a very good game, because a lot of times if you have a very good game, it wasn't as good as you think of it. And a lot of times if you had a bad game, it wasn't as bad. It's just very like some moments who determine if you played a very good or a very bad game. So like, after each game, you have this feedback about yourself, which doesn't necessarily have like an emotion attached to it. It's just, hey, I can do this or this better. And then the chances of conceding a goal or conceding a chance or building up in the right way will become better next time. And that's how you build yourself into a consistent good season. And we just thought about it. Like, last week I played my 100th game for FC Dallas, something that I, like, in the previous time maybe couldn't have imagined, but because I became so consistent in showing up each week, and if you had like a good game, then the next game also has to become good. And if you had a bad game, let's not stay in that spiral and just bounce back the next game. So
I will dig into the 100 game here playing in the States. But funny story to share with the people. I never forget, I think you made your debut for the Dutch national team on the 21s. And then I spoke to a few players on the team, and they said, Maarten Paes, he's a great, crazy guy. So what do you mean? So practice was finished, and you stayed on the pitch. Shoot some free kicks at me, some penalties. And that the coach had to drag you off the pitch. Hey, Maarten.
I think it's because
Are you still the same?
Yeah, but nowadays they don't let me stay as long, because they say you're our main starter now, and like, you're very important to us, so your health is also very important to us. But at that time, because I started so old as a goalkeeper, I still have that joy inside of me of keeping balls out of the net. And then I love to save free kicks, shots from outside the box, etc. And I think for the strikers it's amazing, because a lot of times goalkeepers doesn't really like it.
That's the whole thing. They called me and they said, such a straight, hey, we love it, but really weird. Yeah. Because normally they leave, and he said, no, I'm okay.
Yeah, for sure. And but now the older I get, the more I need to take care of my body, etc. Especially now with all the crazy travel. So Yeah, I can't do that too much anymore, unfortunately.
100 games in the MLS. It's a really big achievement. But also, if you look back at your career, you were just telling us like you started at NEC in Nijmegen. Did you see that Olo Romani? I think he's going to be a PR agent for the city of Nijmegen. He got a really discussion with Tom about how beautiful the city of Nijmegen is. Like, I totally agree. I love Nijmegen.
Yeah.
But did you see
Tom
that?
didn't like the city?
He said it's okay. But then Ole said, no. Nijmegen is special.
Yeah, I think people who come from there...
Are you also that proud?
Well, I'm proud of the city because it's the oldest city of the country. And you have a lot of special memories there. But I would say... I'm not too nostalgic in that, maybe. Like, even like one of his names is Nimmakit, which Nimma is like slang for Nijmegen. Yeah. But beautiful memories there. But I'm not a guy who's like looking back at that a lot. When I come there, of course, you share beautiful memories there. But it's just fun that I had a lot of, for example, teammates in Timnas who all like have history there.
Yeah, a lot of hair.
Ragnar... Kelvin, Ole.
Yeah.
I think there's still a couple who I forgot to mention, but Nijmegen and Utrecht are like where a lot of people are. So that's fun.
Yeah. So NEC then FC Utrecht, and I was just telling a goalkeeper of the Dutch national team on the 21s. Like a normal next step would maybe go to like a top 3 club in Holland, Ajax, PSV, or Feyenoord, or go to Italy, Germany, and everything. And then you went to the States, like, which I loved because we have a really big passion for American sports. I think you already had it a little bit at that time. And I think you are way past me right now because you can tell me everything now about American sports. But at that time, it was for the people in the Netherlands, it was not the most typical move, right?
No, nobody said it was the right choice at that time, but if I have a certain vision and I see the opportunities, like I don't look at like short-term vision. For me, it's long-term vision. I saw the growth that the league was gonna have, and I first went on a 6-month loan to check out if it was the match that I thought it was in my head, and then it was, and enjoyed it a lot. After 10 games, they said, we're gonna sign you, acquire you permanently. And then it's just been amazing. The travel, like now being in Miami, next week we're in San Diego, and then next month we're in Seattle, for example. Like you travel everywhere. Everywhere is a different climate. Everywhere there's different conditions. You play altitude in Colorado. You play in the cold in Canada in February. You play in Texas heat in the summer. So you have to be super professional about how to go about that. And then I have, of course, the travel to Asia too. So you have to be up and top professional to deal with that. And then the league is growing in terms of abilities too. If you see the players that are coming in, if you see also like yesterday in Miami, not only the experienced guys are super good, but they bring the best talents from South America too now here. So I think that's a great sign in showing where the league is going in terms of like a development league instead of a retirement league. So it's been amazing. And I think we still have a long way to go.
Yeah, that's basically also the same for Timnas. You joined. It took a while before you could play. And then your first game was in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, that was the first game of the third round of the World Cup qualifications.
Because we talked a lot about it, in the way of the process, and you were waiting, and finally you could make your debut.
Yeah, and it was a big relief for me. Big dream. And then it was in Saudi. I remember it was like as hot as in Miami yesterday. And the coach was Mancini, the assistant coach was Yaya Toure. So that was
they beat Argentina at
the World Cup. I saved the penalty from the guy who scored the winner against Argentina, Salem. Great player. And it was amazing. I remember the away crowd at that game, which was like
insane, right?
Insane. And then it felt like we were playing a home game in Saudi. And the noise they made, and it's just getting goosebumps thinking about it. And then we scored a beautiful goal. Ragnar and Sandy still have a debate on who scored that goal because Ragnar shoot it and Sandy deflected it. And
Who would you give the goal to?
I think Sandy, but Ragnar would get very angry at that. And then they
You have to choose Sandy, right?
Yeah, and then they scored also from a deflection. Very unfortunate goal.
Yeah.
And then PK happened. It was an unfortunate moment for me, but that shows a lot about how this game can switch in a couple of moments. And then I saved the penalty, and then I went on to play a very good game, made a couple of important saves, and then I think a good start is always very important in a good adventure. So that was amazing. And then travel back to Jakarta and become player of the match against Australia. Have a very good game, 0-0 against a good side. So that was the perfect start of a great campaign so far.
So looking back, you played 8 games?
Yeah.
8, yeah. What was your best game until now?
I believe Australia.
At home, eh?
Yeah, I believe Australia at home. Yeah, another way. At home, 0-0, very mature match. I had a very good double save early in the game with Harry Sutar, the big central defender. And it was the first time in GBK. It was a beautiful feeling, but it can also be intimidating, like 85,000 or 80,000 people. So I was really proud of myself how I handled that atmosphere, and I was really cool. So that was super nice, and great start.
Yeah. So you were saying like there's just moments that define a game. Australia away, I think that was the best save you ever had for timnas.
Yeah, I think
just
so too.
before you got before they got an PK awarded. How strange was that moment? Because we were doing a live stream with Sergio van Dijk, and I think Sergio said, "I haven't seen a save like in years like this."
No, I think
it was a deflected shot or something.
Yeah. So we started the game off very well. The header of Jay that Ryan saved, amazing.
Yeah, great free kick from Kelvin, eh?
Yeah, great free kick from Kelvin. And then the penalty from Kevin, who was well taken. If it goes inside of the post, everyone says, what a PK.
Yeah.
And and then it was unfortunate that it bounced out. And then I made that save, and then you can see how quickly a game can change in terms of moments, especially at international football. I think, things like that define football games. So, I made a good save. It was deflection. I think Boyle shot it, deflected, and I tipped it next to the post. And then suddenly you went to VAR, and there was a foul on the corner kick that led to that moment. And then within 1 minute, it was 2-0, and then the whole momentum shifted towards them. And it was tough, especially also that game with the far travel and the limited time we had in preparations. So and then what we done before is getting back together and then have a very good result at home against Bahrain.
I thought that was so impressive, especially because it was my first time in Indonesia, and I could also see how passionate like fans are and journalists, and they were in shock after the defeat. But if you really look at the game, it wasn't that bad, especially how you guys started.
For sure.
I saw a big interview with Matthew Ryan, the goalie of Australia, after the game. He said, we were really lucky today.
For sure.
And I think how you guys bounced back in the next game against Bahrain, that tells everything about the team, the chemistry. But I was just wondering, how do you bounce back after a game like that?
Well, I think for me, what I said earlier in this podcast, not getting too high, not getting too low. Like, if you get a feedback on all the goals, there's maybe one goal where I could have said, maybe I could have done this or this better. And all the others were, like on the third goal, I had a very good first save and it unlucky bounced back to him. But it was a pure reflex and I don't really see what I could have done better. Maybe on the fourth goal, where there was the corner where I got blocked out, I could have maybe done better. But yeah, it's just not getting too much emotion towards that. I've already talked in the past how I handle my social media. For example, I just erase it during these games just to get at least distraction as possible. And I just play my own game, and I know the bigger goal that I have ahead is to help the team as much as possible. And that outside noise is not that important to me. And I'll just do my best. I did it in Australia and I did it against Bahrain too. And yeah, we won 1-0 against Bahrain.
Again?
Very good game.
Clean sheet again.
Clean sheet. 3 clean sheets now in GBK out of the 4 games.
That's
Only-
really important for a goalie, right?
Yeah, well, it's important, but I think it's a little bit of an overrated stat.
Is it?
Because you can have a beautiful game and there goes one goal where you could have done anything and it's like, oh, he lacked a clean sheet. And you can have nothing to do and then you had a beautiful game. So it's like, and then people say, oh yeah, no clean, he had a clean sheet. What a game where I didn't do anything, you know? So for me, I like to look more at like expected goals saved or not expected goals saved, or just like my initial feeling.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, it's a great feeling because you know what to do for a clean sheet is a lot. It's like the opponent can score for a whole 90 minutes, and that's that's a great performance if you do that. But I think that was just an important game also with the game in Bahrain, like. If you think about how that ended and all the emotion matched.
Yeah.
So, and just in the standings, it was also very important because, we made a great move to move up to the 3rd spot, I think, right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then a strange moment in the game. You got a yellow card for time wasting.
Yeah, I don't think I was time wasting that much that game.
No.
And he gave it very early. So I was a little bit frustrated with that.
Is that in the moment you saw the yellow card, you said, oh my God, now I'm suspended for the next game?
Yeah, I know the rules with AFC. If you get 2 yellow cards, you get suspended. And I got it on my debut against Saudi, where we really needed to time waste because that moment.
I know, yeah. There was a lot of momentum for Saudi at that time.
And it was also the first games. There was only 2 or 3 players from our team who really had like match rhythm. So I think only me, Kelvin, and Jay probably were the only 3 guys that were really starting in their teams. Yeah. So we played in a very hot environment in Saudi. So everyone just got tired. And I remember before I had a 1v1 save with one of the strikers who came in. I think Jay got injured or Kelvin got injured. And then the guy from AS Roma dribbled all the way through and he gave a pass and it was like the field was completely open. So I needed to time waste a little bit in that game. This game, I think he gave it very early, which was unfortunately. So, but yeah, it is what it is.
And then how do you look forward against like, if you have to, you cannot play.
No, for me, it's a little bit different as people from Europe or Indonesian league. I play through the whole month. So I have, I think, 10,
oh, that's right. Yeah.
I think I have 10 games in May, which
you have a special friend.
Yeah, a special friend. I have a good fragrance.
Fly on the wall.
Good fragrance. No, I have 10 games in May, so for me it's a very busy schedule now, and then I fly to Jakarta. I think the 1st of June.
Oh yeah, and 4 days later is the game.
And
right?
4 days later is the game. So luckily, I have some more time now to get adjusted to the time zone and everything, and then support the team as much as possible, and giving my knowledge, giving my leadership to the team, and then we will see what happens. We take it one game at a time, and we know the stakes, very high stakes against China, who
it's a difficult team, eh?
Difficult team, I think. Very defensive, organized.
I was reading a lot in Indonesian media that they already are like, we beat China and then see what happens against Japan. But
no.
hey.
Yeah, they are very solid defensively, low block, which is not easy to exploit. And then they're very dangerous on set pieces and very dangerous on transition. That's how we lost the game there. So we need to not underestimate them. Get a good result there, and then we see what happens.
Yeah. But are you a guy that is visualizing like it's now May 2025, about June 2026? I think the World Cup is June or July 2026?
Yeah, probably. Visualizing, I don't want to get too much on...
Dreaming?
On the things I had. Dreaming, of course, but...
What does the dream look like?
I think the dream is to be in a World Cup and then to show the people what Indonesia is. Also to show the people in Indonesia that dreaming is allowed and that we all believe, like Jay said. But I think that's, for me, one of the most beautiful things that we are showing now is that everyone can dream. Like what you said, I started as a goalkeeper as 15, 16, and I'm now here. And we want to go there, but also show everyone that it's really possible to dream, no matter where you come from, no matter what kind of resources you have. We want to go into everyone is equal to dream, to go to a World Cup now, but also in 4 years, 8 years, 12 years, 16 years. And I think that's the infrastructure you see. If you also look at Indonesia under 17, who just qualified for the World Cup.
November.
If you see how we did at the Asia Cup under 23, like you see that there's so much development in that. And credits to PCSI who are arranging that, because the youth has the future, which I really believe. And we're just a little part of that.
Yeah, so that's interesting that you're saying that. I did a podcast, I think, when I was in Jakarta with Mr. Tohir. The second one, the first one was just more getting to know each other. And this time we really were digging into subjects. And of course, like qualifying for the World Cup would be a dream for everyone. But he said we're building really something. And women's football, grassroots. You have the Garuda Academy now. If you're not like talented like you are, but you want to work in football, I think that's amazing to see. And I to be honest, I don't really think that everyone in Indonesia sees the bigger picture. Everyone is focused right now on timnas qualifying for World Cup.
For sure.
But I think it's even more impressive what's happening on the backside.
Yeah, I think the most successful people in the world, they are focused on long term, right?
Yeah.
So if you see short term is the next game.
Of course, yeah.
And like a lot of times football is short-minded memory. So one game you're unbelievable, the world thinks this guy's unbelievable, and then you play a bad game, oh, this guy sucks. So it's like how to find a balance into that for the short-minded. But if you have long-term vision in everything, and especially in a short-minded world like football, I think that is key. And I think the whole like project here is where we can generate something that can go on for generations, on and on and on. And I think that's something that's so beautiful. And I think that I can be a little part of that is a true honor. And I feel very grateful to be part of that.
Yeah, but you're saying little part, but maybe in the future, because you're doing a really special program with the FIFA right now, eh?
Yeah, that's super cool.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm doing FIFA executive program for players. It's the first time ever, so I feel very honored to be selected for that. But it's to already for my life after football. I'm a huge believer in starting that as early as possible, because you can compound your knowledge into leadership as a player, but also compound knowledge for after your career. So we had for example, last Wednesday, we had the CEO of Brighton who talked about like how they build it, like a top 6, top 8 Premier League team. And 20 years ago, they were almost bankrupt. And he showed like 25 steps to how they build it into the team they are now, and the disruptive team in the Premier League right now. So something like that really inspires me. And because I also love the business side of sports, that's just super cool. And I think the next one, 6th of May, is Simon Rolfes from sporting director of Leverkusen.
Leverkusen,
So
who also built Leverkusen to become the champion last year of Germany.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm very curious into that. And then in June there's some days in Los Angeles during the Club World Cup where we have like an in-person meeting, which is also super cool. So I'm just very, very honored to be part
You're
of it.
a very curious person and you read a lot. Maybe we can dig into that later about if you have any suggestions for people to read books. But one thing a lot of people ask me about, how does Maarten do it every time? Flying from Dallas to Jakarta. It must be insane for your body, for your mind.
Yeah, I think it's one of the hardest things about my life right now is how to get a lot of energy. I feel now I'm always back adjusted to Dallas, and it's almost time to go back to Southeast Asia. I think I'm a very disciplined person. That helps a lot because on my flights I have a very strict schedule on when to eat, when to sleep,
So you tell us. So when you enter the plane in Dallas Airport,
Yeah.
you switch to Indonesian time.
Yeah. For example, right now in June, I'm gonna go June 1st, and then I look at the flights. What is like the best flight so I can have the best schedule? And with Dallas to Indonesia, it's very easy because it's 12-hour time difference. So if it's 8 a.m. in Dallas, it's 8 p.m. in Jakarta. So after the game, it's always hard to sleep. So a lot of times I stay awake the whole night after the game because then it's when the day is in Jakarta. And then at 8 a.m. now is my flight, for example. Then is when I take at 8 a.m. I take my big meal. And for a lot of people, they can't do that. But I know I have to do that because you can't have a big meal at 12 and then expect you to sleep like 2 hours later. So at 8 a.m. is when I have my big meal. Most of the time it's at the lounge at the airport or something like this. And then I wait like 3-4 hours. Then I take some supplements like melatonin, magnesium, like a cocktail of that. all doping free, of course, with some of the sponsors that I have. And then, I like one of the most important things in terms of jet lag or like time difference is the light, how you manage light, because your brain, if they see light, they think it's
awake.
It's daytime, and if they see darkness, it produces melatonin. So I have these glasses, which sometimes people make fun of me that I have these glasses, but it's like blocking like the blue light. And then like from 2 hours from when I want to sleep, I put my phone away, I put all the lights away, and then I read most of the time or do some other stuff. And then when I fell to sleep, I most of the time get like 8 to 10 hours.
Oh, that's really good.
That's really good. And then luckily, I can lay down on the plane, get 8 to 10 hours, and then then I have like 7 or 8 hours to go on the plane, and that's when I can watch the shows or stuff like that. And then I always say to the people at the plane, like, this is the time I want my breakfast, this is the time I want my light snack, this is the time I want coffee. Like, I'm very strict into that.
It's just so weird, like flying around the world, like it can do a lot to your body and your mind. So I think it's so cool that you're so dedicated. I would like to have a little bit more of discipline like you have.
Yeah, and I know for example, you have to be careful with caffeine. Now, luckily, I don't drink alcohol, but some people struggle with, like, they drink a lot of alcohol on the plane, especially if I look right and left.
Yeah, that's unbelievable, right?
In the plane, and I'm like, you're gonna have a lot of problems with the jet lag.
Because people think if you drink alcohol, you'll pass out, but you won't sleep good.
No, it's like your deep sleep or REM sleep is like almost 0%. Plus, it disrupts the sleep after. So that's a hard thing. And then even like, you have to be smart about how to use your caffeine intake. But with timnas, because I play like 2 days later, it's important to have some caffeine. But
the energy. Right?
Yeah, but they say get your caffeine the latest 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and after that, don't drink caffeine anymore.
So we got a lot of questions also for you. So I was just thinking that there is a question, and I don't know if you there's a special fan you have in Indonesia, Pakmu.
Yes.
So explain this to us.
Yeah, to be honest, the first time I got to know this was because FC Dallas, they always make these memes. This is a funny story, actually. I played last year, I played in New York Red Bulls, a game, and then there's always on the way days people with Indonesian flags also here.
Yesterday also. In Miami,
yesterday also. But in Red Bulls, there was Ilham is his name. He was in the crowd. I saw him always with the warm up. I see more of the stadium than after during the game. And then he tweeted like all my highlights of the game on Twitter. So I said like, hey, good that you visited the game. Next time tickets are on me. And then in the summer he came to FC Dallas, and he almost like worked together now with FC Dallas.
Really?
Yeah, because he was like a student in one of the New York's universities. And then Yeah, and then for example, he sent me sometimes some songs, but he also helps with like the memes that are like hot in Indonesia.
Indonesia. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they use it in like the lineup, for example, or FC Dallas also sometimes use like The Office fun. It's happening, and then I'm like, it's like super funny. And
So that's the Pakmu. That's the guy.
and then one time they used him after a game as like a meme, and that's where the first time that I saw who he was. I think his son is like a famous actor or something like
Really?
this. Yeah. And then he always films his dad, and his dad is always saying fun things.
But I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, people were wondering. You traveled a lot around Indonesia. You were telling me in November last year.
Yes.
Do you have any idea? Oh, you're still in season, so you cannot travel after the Japan game, right?
No. I have a game 2 days later again.
No.
Yeah, against Kansas City away. So I have to go straight back after Japan, from Osaka to Tokyo, and Tokyo to Dallas, and then play 2 days later against Kansas City.
So do you have any other, like in the future plans, what you want to visit in Indonesia?
Yeah, I think in November probably. It depends how far we come in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But the goal is for me and Luna to have some travel in Indonesia. Maybe go to Thailand too, to Koh Samui maybe. And we're really thinking of Labuan Bajo. You just went to maybe Lombok, Borobudur.
I told Luna yesterday about Pink Beach and Komodo Islands. She was, oh my God, this is heaven.
Yeah, she's someone, if we are thinking about traveling there, she watches like TikToks.
Everything, right?
Everything there. So like Borobudur is still high on my list. I Raya Ampat.
Yeah,
I heard beautiful things.
Yeah, I heard beautiful things about that. Yeah,
especially for diving, I believe.
Can you dive?
I can dive, but Luna has some problems with the airs, so she probably and we when we were in Bali, we did snorkeling.
That's also really cool.
Yeah, but she were refusing to do the
pedals,
the flippers.
Oh, the flippers.
Yeah, so I did it, and I saw sea turtles and everything, but she got tired after like 10 minutes because she didn't use the flippers.
I have the same. So at Labuan Bajo, there were a lot of turtles, and then. I was also tired. I was just tired, and I was in the water, and then my colleagues and our guide, he said, use the flippers. And then I saw one. I said, all right, I saw a turtle. I'm out.
Yeah. And we were lucky. We saw like a whole family of dolphins there too.
Oh,
so that
wow.
was unbelievable. Yeah.
So a lot of travel still ahead in Indonesia. We got some questions, and we always get this. What's your favorite Indonesian food?
My favorite Indonesian food? It's almost everything. But I would say nasi goreng, soto ayam, because I really love it when it's humid to eat a lot of soup. I have to say bakso too, because the people love that.
Are there any good Indonesian places in Dallas?
Yeah, it's called Bali Street.
Bali Street?
Yeah, very, very good restaurant.
You didn't took me there the last time. We went to a really good restaurant, but not to Bali Street.
Next time we go there,
okay.
the people are very friendly, so they always invite me there. And I think this season we're gonna cater with FC Dallas one time there.
Oh, that's really cool.
I will bring it to the team, and everyone can taste it because it's close to Dallas City. It's not as close to Frisco where we stay. So I want them to cater once on like a Sunday or something like that.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and I really love the sweets too. Like Luna loved I think it's called dadar goleng. It's like pandan wraps, and there's like coconut sugar in it, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah, and when we eat it in Bali, Luna was like, "This is my thing." So she loves that, and I love lapis Surabaya, for example. That's like spekkoek.
Yeah, spekkoek. Yeah.
And they make it at Bali Street like special for me always. So
spekkoek is something that brings back memories when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And then especially because you had some tokos where we went, where a family, my uncle had a toko in Woerden, and we would go there. And you could, that's being raised with an Indonesian father. You know when it's good.
Yeah.
Because of course in Holland there are so many Indonesian places, but there's just a few that are really, really authentic and good.
Yeah, and I would say the food that I have the most special memories from is lumper. You know lumpers?
Yeah, of course.
Because at high school, I don't know why I did this, but I started my third year. You have like a choice to make what side of subjects you want to go on to. And then I went the science side, which is not something for me. And then in the middle of the year, I was talking to my mentor, like, please, can I change subject? I want to go more to the economic side. And she said, like, it's possible, but your history classes, you have to take it on your own then.
Mm.
And then I said, my grandmother, she was a history teacher. Can I take my lessons with my grandmother?
No.
Yeah. So I ended up with like an A on my end exams. But every Tuesday and Thursdays after soccer practice, I will go to my grandma and she will make a lumper for me. And we will go over like the whole history together. And that's also when she opened up.
This is a great story, eh?
Yeah, and then she opened up about like all her history in Indonesia, and we talked a lot about it. And she was also my godmother, so we had like a very special connection. But she told me a lot about everything.
And then always she had lumpers for you.
Yeah, lumpers for me, and she drank port. There was always
what a combination!
Yeah, she drank port, and I got lumpers, and like she would do it like the traditional way in. She will boil it in banana leaf and pisang leaf above boiling water, like above the boiling pan. So it was like
the pisang leaves. I remember my grandmother always.
Yeah. So it was. Those are incredible memories. So I have very special memories every time I eat it.
Like she passed away. Well, what do you think if she's looking down now? What would she say to you about everything you experienced until now in Indonesia?
Yeah, so the first part of the process, she was still alive.
Yeah.
And at that time, she was, my grandfather passed away the year before.
I know, yeah.
And she was like she had a little bit of dementia, and she was like still very sad about my grandfather leaving, feeling a bit lonely. And I want to cheer her up with every time I showed her like the new steps of everything. And then, she was that was the moments where she smiled the most. Her last year was my feeling when I was with her. So, that gave me like a very special feeling. And then, months before I made my debut, she passed away. It was also during the season for us, so it was very hard for me.
I know that time, yeah.
Yeah, so, but then now every time I scream out the anthem is when I think also about her. So that's something that's super special to me, and I will cherish forever.
Yeah, and that's also like making also her proud, because she was your godmother, so she would always be proud of you in life. If you would be like not playing as a professional player or doing something else, but especially with her connection, and now especially what you also said about the story you told me that she made lumpers for you and talking about history lessons. It's just a full circle story, right?
For sure. And I'm super grateful for that. And like for me, I always say this to everyone, like if you play for your national team, your ego should never be involved with it, because you play for a way bigger picture than your own ego. You know, you're part of a nation. I don't feel like I'm one of 11. I feel like I'm one of 300 million who's all fighting for the same dream, and that is to bring us to the World Cup in 4 years, but also just to become a nation to watch out for the next coming 100 years. Yeah, and that's where we set the foundation for right now. And what I said, I'm really honored to be a part of that movement.
And then you were not the only pass in GBK against Bahrain, because sitting in front of me, I think it was Luna, your brother, and your sister.
Yes. That was unbelievable. Every time they are there, it feels like, you have this blanket of security over yourself. And it's just amazing. They travel, like Luna's also here in Miami. They travel around the world to help and support me. And I'm very grateful to have that support system.
Yeah. So to round this talk, like we should have warned the people behind the camera. We could sit here the whole day. I don't think that everyone would be. You would miss your flight back to Dallas.
I know.
But to round up, like we were talking about music, and you're listening a lot to Indonesian music. Yes. What's your favorite song?
Yeah, my favorite song right now, and I shared it already in when we were playing.
So I did the story yesterday with the. I really like that song.
Yeah, it's called Bara Suara Pikiran dan Perjalanan.
And what? Yeah.
I think it's very good. I think also with the guitars, I always liked like the Red Hot Chili Peppers and Linkin Park a little bit before the games.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good game, really good music. And of course, tanah always gives like a very, very special feeling for after the game. And then Kopi Dangdut, very good song. Takeng Dong.
Yeah, and this one, like I played this yesterday in a story for you. Wait.
Yeah, that's,
I'll forward a little bit.
I think very... Yeah, it's very...
But it's a love song. And then like we have the Indonesian guy working, Ganes, who's a great help for this podcast. Like it's so cool to have someone from Indonesia working on the podcast. It's just the next step we're taking. And then he explained to me a little bit about the song. It's a love song, but it's like a forbidden love.
Yeah.
But if you listen to it, it just gives you the vibes, right?
I know it's a good beat. I think it does very... it became very popular very, very soon. I saw Sandy...
So that's why I'm dancing to it.
Yeah,
I like this song.
He shared it. Sandy is he always finds this stuff very early. But it's a really good song. And yeah, I think, for example, when I was in Bali, there was this street artist. He was like amazing when I was there. And then like he was kind of shocked when he saw me, but it was just unbelievable that I could I made like a selfie with him and I give him some exposure. And then, for these guys, this could be like...
next step, right?
The next step. And like we as soccer players are, getting good attention now. But I believe like a lot of people with talents, because there's so much people with like good voices in Indonesia or with beautiful talents. And I think they should also get like the exposure that they deserve.
Yeah. So last thing, there's a young Indonesian Maarten Paes, 15, 14 years old. What's the life lesson you have for him? Or for her?
I think
Martina Paes?
Yeah, I think invest in yourself. Don't be afraid to make unpopular decisions. Read a lot. Always try to become 1, 2, 3% better every day. And what I said earlier, this episode, not to get too high after a good game, not get too low after a bad game. Don't listen too much to the outside noise and stay on your own trajectory to success. And I think that's the key in life, because there's so much people in the world and you cannot make everyone happy. But and also I just believe in being a good person. That also brings you very, very far in life.
Yeah.
So.
It's crazy. I think this is the 10th time we did a podcast together. But every time we find new subjects to talk about, right?
Yeah, but there's a lot happening in our lives. So I think it's a beautiful way to show that.
Yeah. So thanks again. Thanks for making some time in your busy schedule. Even here in Miami, you stayed a day longer. So I really appreciate that. And we'll hopefully see each other again in Jakarta in June.
For sure.
And all the good luck to you here in Dallas and with Timnas. Thank you so much for watching. We have to do a special shout out to the guys from Uncommon Studios here in Miami who did this. You entered here and then you said it looked like
impulsive.
Yeah.
Nah, they did an unbelievable job. Like when you walk in here, you don't have the feeling
No.
there's so much space.
Yeah.
But they have a beautiful space here, and I believe they're hosting Bayern München in the summer. So good luck to that.
If you're in Miami and you ever need someone, call Liam, call Nico from Uncommon Studios. They're great help.
They went to the game yesterday too, that was nice too. Thanks for the support. Terima kasih. Terima kasih.
Oh yeah, can you finish the episode saying goodbye?
Yeah. Sampai jumpa. Terima kasih untuk support, and see you soon in GBK.
Thank you, guys.